Hello, I am
Hello.
here with Molly, and we're going to chat today about your experience in the program and a little more about things you liked, things
Mhm.
we succeeded in, and really what your entire process was like. So, I'd love
Yeah.
to start with where were you at before you started the coaching program?
Yeah. So before, I feel like I was definitely in a like post doing dance and doing a lot of activities growing up to being in a stage where I was just like doing like some 10-minute like YouTube kind of workout videos with like 5 pound weights. I only had 5 pound weights um in my room or in my dorm. And so I think I was just really like stuck in the same spot, not really gaining anything, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
so
were
just
your
kind of stuck.
goals?
I think I was just kind of wanting to be more toned. And I think with 5 pound weights and just random 10-minute videos, that doesn't really do anything for you, especially when you don't know what you're trying to look for, really.
Mm.
With like,
Tell me
yeah,
more
different
about that.
body types or any of that. Yeah, just like clicking random videos. And again, like, I didn't know, like, for my, like body type, I had no idea how much water I was supposed to be drinking, how many like calories or what my protein intake should be. Again, also being like pescatarian, I think I also was just not really sure what types of things to be eating or again how much I should be eating every day. I had no idea. So same with yeah, water. I mean, trying to drink water, but didn't even know how many ounces I should be drinking a day. So I think I really just had no idea what I was doing. So I was like, okay, I need some guidance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there like a straw or something that happened that made you officially want to reach out for help?
I think I had been following your Instagram for a bit and you made some story post about um like having a hard time getting protein in. Like I think you did a poll or something and I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, I have no idea what I'm doing." And so then I kind of started chatting with you. And I think too it's like it was the beginning of the year and I think this year I was like I really just need to focus on my health and just kind of getting my life together now that I'm like out of school and like working. I was like I need to figure out this new journey and just trying to make myself better. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I love that you phrased it that way of you want to focus on your health.
Mhm.
Of course, like the aesthetic goals, that's great, right? but
Yeah, but
but
really just
really,
feeling good and better in your own body. Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely, and especially for you being pescatarian, like that protein was
Mhm.
so important.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think was like the biggest thing that you needed help with?
I think just like building confidence and going to the gym was a big thing for me. Um, really had never like been in a gym. Again, grew up dancing, so I'd been in like dance studios, things like that, but I didn't grow up doing any like weight training, so I'd never really been in a gym. I had no idea how to use anything besides like weights or bands. Like I didn't know how to use any workout equipment. So I think just like having your guidance and like boosting me up, to be like, yeah, you can do it. You know how to do it. This is what you do. Just like definitely helped me because I think walking into a gym is just really scary. So I think knowing what you're going to be doing and you know how to use things and even just you giving me the confidence to be like you can ask people, they're going to help you. Like just building that community I think was a like big thing.
Good. Yeah, I do want to know specifically if you're comfortable sharing how that
Mhm.
transition went of feeling nervous, not knowing what to do, and kind of starting to feel comfortable. Was there something
Yes.
specific that helped you a lot with that?
Um, I think like I feel like when I would first walk in, it was definitely like, oh my gosh, everyone here knows what they're doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. Everyone can tell I don't know what I'm doing, like kind of mentality. And so I think just like once I was kind of figuring out my routine of my workouts and I knew where things were, because also walking into a gym and being like, I don't even know where the things I'm looking for are. um, so I think, yeah, once I kind of figured out my routine too, I mean, I started out first doing some of my workouts, I would take weights from over where they were by the mirrors, and I was like in a corner. I would walk all the way over to like a complete different area of the gym where like people weren't there so that I could do my workouts. And I think I finally got to the point where I was like, I can just stay here. This is fine. It's a lot easier if I just stay where everyone else is. You know what I mean? And then I was like, oh, yeah, no, literally no one cares. You know what I mean? Like, so I think just getting that mentality and also, being like, hey, does any friends want to go with me, too, just makes it a little easier as well.
Good. I'm so glad that
Yeah.
you sort of really blossomed in that aspect. And I mean,
Yeah.
you hit the nail on the head. Most of the time, really, people are so focused on themselves. Everybody's thinking that
Hmm.
same thought of
Yeah.
everyone knows what they're doing and I don't.
Yeah.
But fortunately and unfortunately, everybody's thinking that same thing, as you know. But
Yeah.
do you feel, and I guess, do you think that you were able to have a better workout if you were more comfortable, or do you think that really had anything to do with it?
Yeah, I think that I, like, towards the beginning too, would definitely freak out a lot. Like, if it was more busy that day or something, or like, um, even just the fact of like, if people were using some of the equipment that I was planning on using, it's like, okay, do I wait around? Do I just kind of hope that it's gonna be there? Do I just be like, well, I'm just not doing it today? You know what I mean? But also just the fact of like, if you're like, hey, can I use this after you? Or how many reps do you have left? Like, if you ask someone that, it's not that deep. You know what I mean? So I think just like figuring that out, or even just, yeah, people being like, oh, are you using this? Like, if there's equipment next to you, you're like, no, you go for it. Like, it's not a big deal. So,
Good. Yeah. And I mean, really, like the worst they can say is, yes, I
no.
have
Or,
three
yeah,
more
yeah,
sets.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad. So, are you, after leaving this program, will you continue going to the gym or will you do some workouts at home? What do you think is your groove now?
I think I'm probably gonna do a mixture of both. The gym I go to is like a community center, so it is really close, and I feel like the time of day that I go to, like I feel like I recognize people and like feel comfortable going, and I can have friends go with me too. So I feel like I have that down. But I think that also some of the workouts that I had from you, like there's some things that don't need the machines that I feel like I could do at home as well on like different days too. So I think I'll probably do a mixture of both.
Good.
Hmm.
Yeah, it sounds like
Yeah.
you have like your own little community at the
Yeah.
community center.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
That's
nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
What about your parents too, or sibling even? Like, have they got an interest in this since you've started this journey?
Yeah, I've had a couple of my siblings go with me, and my dad, like we had definitely talked about it a lot. He does a lot of like he runs a lot of marathons, and he has like a personal trainer for running. So I think, yeah, totally kind of bonded over, both having trainers, having like your workouts, things you need to do. I mean, again, easy to be like, oh yeah, these are some grocery things that I'm getting, like different things like that. I feel like was nice. Hmm.
Yes. Oh, that's
Yeah.
so cool. Yeah. And especially if you're eating similar meals or in the same roof, trying to reach at least somewhat a similar goal, which is to
Hmm.
be healthier and improve your
Yeah.
performance.
Yeah.
That's got to be really advantageous to have similar meal structure.
Hmm. Yeah, and
That's
it was
awesome.
funny because again, I haven't done any of the running training stuff that my dad does, but he doesn't do a lot of like weight training at all. But he did do one of the lower body days with me, and the next day he was like, "I can't walk. I don't know how you do this." So that was really funny. He was
Did you
like, "This
go
is a
on
lot
a
harder than I thought it was gonna be." Yeah.
that's I mean that's music to my ears, you know that.
Yeah.
Did you ever try
Yeah.
one of his running workouts in exchange?
I have not, but maybe I will one day. I don't know. He does a lot of the like KC Run Club, so he kind of has like a
Ooh,
runner community that he started to build too. So I could always go to one of those with him. We'll see.
that's
Yeah.
so fun. You know, we
Yeah.
keep actually talking about community. How was the community inside of the app for you?
I think good. I think even though I know I missed some of like the Zoom calls because I was at work during those hours, I think that everyone was really friendly in the group chat, and I think it was really cool that we had a group chat for meals, and I enjoyed like sharing meals that I had tried and also seeing other meals or even just things that people were like, "Hey, this popped up at, the grocery store." And really enjoying this. Like, I think that kind of source of community was really cool because I know like a lot of people live like all over the world that you have right now. So it's not like it's even just people here. So it was cool to see what people were doing.
Oh yeah. Was there
Yeah.
anything specific you took away, like a food recommendation, a recipe, a workout recommendation, or just kind of the overall support?
Oh man. Um, I know there were things. I just can't think of them at the moment. Oh my gosh. But I did enjoy seeing like people talking about like the walking pad. I thought that was cool when someone sent the link for that for um all the people that are like working from home. I thought that was a really good idea.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the walking pad is
Yeah.
clutch.
Mhm.
Life
Yeah.
changing. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about what were some of the biggest changes that happened for you during the coaching process.
I think I definitely was noticing like in my arms and stomach like more toning, and I think like even people at work were noticing like in my arms like getting more toned. So I think like that was awesome. That was like I was seeing it, but also other people were noticing. And I think another big thing for me was figuring out like meal prepping and also just like planning. I mean, it sounds silly. I feel like I knew the idea before, but I just wasn't really implementing it of like, having your meals planned out before you went to the grocery store. um, just makes it a lot easier when you're going to the store because you already kind of know what things you have at home and what you need to get. And so I think that that just helped fuel me at work, especially since I'm like standing all day at my job. So just making sure I was eating things that had a lot of protein and that would keep me full during the day.
Excellent. Oh, that's so good
Mhm.
to hear. I want to know as well, where were you at structuring meals? How did you go about putting a meal together before the program versus how you go about it now?
Mhm. Um, I think a lot of the lunches that I would do were like leftovers from like family dinners. And for me, since I don't really eat meat, like I eat some seafood, I've mainly grown up eating just a lot of sides and things. Like my parents always made sure there were sides and things I would eat. But I think that like having like specific proteins like tofu or just like chickpeas, things like that. It's not like those are really implemented into our family dinners. So I think trying to make that a goal was a big thing for me instead of just eating a bunch of sides. Um, and then also, yeah, definitely a lot of like pre-made like soups or, mac and cheese cups or like pre-made salads. I feel like I would just get some of those things that were just really quick and I didn't really have to prep anything is kind of what I was eating before at work.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. And so now, are you still habitually getting to the grocery store, making your list, planning the
Hmm.
meals, and prepping all your food?
Yeah. And I think that breakfast was a huge thing for me because I normally haven't been a person that really like makes time or like plans out a breakfast, if that makes sense. Like I feel like especially in school, it was more of the first couple hour, like maybe like second hour, third hour or something. I was eating like a granola bar or a yogurt or something like that, but I wasn't really like planning out a whole big breakfast. And so I think one prepping things before, like prepping things at night, like the overnight oats or things like that. But also, I think that like my main, like I've realized that breakfast is where I can just get like a huge chunk of my protein in doing like Greek yogurts and putting like protein powder in that and then putting like chia seeds and granola and fruit and different things. Like I feel like you can get a lot of the bulk of protein in that meal. So I think that has become like a big thing for me, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Music to my ears, girl.
Yeah, all the smoothies, smoothie bowls, yogurt bowls.
Yeah,
And
well,
like I
and
haven't gotten tired of them. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I eat them every day and still not bored of them. There's just a
there's
million things you
so
can do with
much
it.
you can do. Well,
Yeah.
exactly. Yep. But I remember too, you had shared a recipe with me. It was like a smoothie bowl with the chia seeds.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It's
You
just
were
so
getting
good,
really
especially in the
creative.
summer. Yeah, so yummy.
Oh yeah. Good. And I think too, a lot of people, myself included, before really getting into the fitness space was not really seeing the value or importance of meal prepping and strategizing your food. What do you
Mhm.
think is the best part about the preparation?
I think, well, one, you kind of save money because you're going into like the grocery store already knowing what things you have at home and what things you need to buy for the meal. So it's not like you're just randomly like picking things out and kind of trying to make a meal. Um, But also, I feel like you can get creative with it. Like again, having everything online. Like I feel like I was able to find a lot of things on TikTok too of things people were making with new things out at Target or Trader Joe's or different things like that. And having like the change of season too, I think helps a lot if you do get bored with meals too. Like I feel like now that it's becoming fall, it's like okay, you have all the crock pot recipes or you know what I mean? Like different things like that where you can do really healthy things and they can go while you're at work, they heat up well. Like I think things like that are gonna be great for like this fall winter as well.
Crackpot season, baby, the best season.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to know too, how much time on average did it take for you to do the preparation of planning the meals, making the grocery list, all that stuff?
Um maybe 30 minutes, I would say, of like kind of getting ideas from like the like PDF guide you gave me of like meal ideas or going through Pinterest or TikTok and then seeing like what things I had or even another thing. Again, I guess this will probably go into another question. But I think you did a really good job of like when we would meet like every week and being like, okay, what kind of things do you want to do for meals or like sometimes again you just being like show me your fridge right now, show me what things you have and then we can build off of that, and I think that was super helpful too. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Was there anything in particular? I mean, you mentioned actually strategizing together that really kind of helped click of, oh, this is how I put a meal together.
I think just like definitely you being like, okay, first start with like your protein. Like what are you going to use? What are you going to get at the store that you can then build on to multiple things? Like I think for me, like shrimp, um, like chickpeas and like tofu were like I feel like some of like the top ones that I would do and like lunch or dinner kind of meals. And I think too, I had never tried tofu until doing this course. It's always just definitely freaked me out. So I think having you help show me like how to prep it and then all the different ways that you can use it was really nice. And yeah, I think like my favorite way that I used it was, which sounds gross, but when we like blended it up and made like a pasta sauce, I think that was really yummy because you didn't have like the texture at first. I feel like when you're first trying it and stuff is like the texture can be kind of weird. So I think making like a yummy cheesy pasta sauce that you knew had a lot of protein in it was great.
Oh yeah, that's kind
Yeah.
of the life hack too. Especially like you mentioned, the sponginess can be a little
Mhm.
off-putting to people, but hiding it, especially with like a sun-dried tomato sauce,
Yeah.
chef's kiss. Such an easy way to get some extra protein too, and not just for vegan, vegetarian people, but it's so creamy too. It's so awesome to put in there.
Yes.
I'm really glad that you tried that and liked that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Heck yeah. Okay, so what do you think was the biggest thing you learned or your biggest takeaway?
Oh gosh. I think probably just like the amount of like calories and protein and water intake that I should be having a day. Like I think that's just something that I've never like learned at all, which sounds crazy, but I think I literally just had no idea. So I think that just builds and helps for every day. And also just the fact that everyone's bodies are different, so it's like how you train and how you eat is going to be totally different from someone
Mm.
else.
Yeah. Do you think beforehand you were kind of stuck figuring out, well, this person's doing this, so let me try that, not realizing
Mhm.
different body, different goal?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because I think you see things online and it's kind of like, okay, is that going to work for me or not? Which again is why I feel like the YouTube videos, it's like, that's not going to work for everyone. Like, it probably works for some people, but it's not going to do that for everyone. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And especially too, like with that concept of progressive overload, that's why the YouTube
Hmm.
videos can be, I mean, they're great. They have their place. Like they're awesome. I do them
Yes.
still too.
Yeah, but when you
But
don't know what you're doing or what you're looking for, it's like it's not really going to do anything.
exactly. And you can
Yeah.
only do a video so many times and all that kind of stuff too. So
Hmm.
yeah, totally makes sense there. Okay. So it sounds like you found the education aspect regarding nutrition and how to fuel yourself and how to exercise the most valuable portion.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Do you think the nutrition PDF, like the education, was a good way to digest and learn the information?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a big packet. Like, there's a lot of information in there. So I think it's nice that it's something that you can, like, go back on too for meal ideas or, yeah, just knowing what things are really high in protein, like things like that is really helpful to look back on.
Good. Yeah, and you know too, like that's yours forever, and you can
Hmm.
use that forever.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Good. Okay. So we have touched on this a little bit, but do you think that you'll continue to maintain the habits that you've built, and why or why not?
Yeah. I think I definitely will because it's just again been like a confidence booster and I think kind of having a routine again, like I know a lot of people are on the same boat of being like done with school and starting, your job. Like I think you're just in a whole different routine than you've ever been in before. And so I think it's like a great time to build like your habits up now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What specific habits were we working on that you thought were helpful to this program?
I think my water intake every day was a huge thing because again, I'm the type of girl that needs to have I have my coffee with me, I have my soda during the afternoon at work, I have my water, you know what I mean? Like, so I think making sure that I'm actually, getting enough water in with all my different drinks and also like, hey, maybe instead of doing a coffee this morning, I should do a smoothie or a protein shake. Like maybe we should weigh these out a little bit. So, I think that was super helpful. And then, yeah, like making sure, I was getting enough sleep, like things like that.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Did you see a difference in yourself? Not just see, but feel once we really started focusing on the water and sleep aspect of things?
Hmm. Yeah, I think it makes a huge difference. Again, like with me standing like all day for my job too, like I need to like be hydrated. So, not just start drinking coffee, so makes a huge difference.
Good. Yeah, for brain power and for general health and of course for our fat loss goals too. But I
Hmm.
definitely feel that that's something that's overlooked a lot. Was that ever something that had occurred to you of, well, if I want to get healthier and lose this body fat, I need to sleep and drink water too?
Right. Um, Honestly, not really. Like, I think it's always like, yes, you should drink water. Yes, you should get your sleep, but I don't think it's really something that I was like, oh, if I'm drinking a bunch of water and sleeping at least 8 hours a day, that's gonna help my like fitness side. Do you know what I mean? I think that's something that I didn't really think of like as being correlated, but it makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. So,
Yeah, well, it's so interesting to me because, and I'm curious your perspective, but to me, it's like some of the most foundational, basic, really important things
yeah,
to not just for health, but of course to reach your goals. But nobody talks about it. It's like,
yeah,
well, yeah,
yeah,
you can have your calorie deficit, you can go to the gym, but if you're not sleeping, if you're not recovering, if you're not hydrated, you're going to feel like hot dog
right.
poop all day.
Yes. Well, and I think another thing, like, I'm sure you feel this way too, but I think, like, in school, like, people would always, like, I feel like people would always be like, oh my gosh, I pulled an all-nighter last night, or oh my gosh, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like people are ever like, oh my gosh, I got 9 hours of sleep last night and I have all my meals prepped for this week. Like, do you know what I mean? That's not like like something that people brag. People always brag about, like, the opposite, like, things. It doesn't make sense.
That's
But yes,
true.
I don't know, it's so weird.
Were you going to elaborate more?
Oh, just like it's so odd that no one brags about like things that are actually going well. Do you know what I mean? Like that's just not something that people really do. And so I think it also just is not something I really thought about in school.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think you've touched on something really important, which is especially in our culture in general, it's like very alcohol driven. I think that's shifting a little bit
Hmm.
now, but
Yeah.
alcohol, fast food, not sleeping, out partying, having fun. But I am curious how your change of habits and getting more sleep and getting to the gym, of course, that changes your schedule, but how did that impact your social life?
Honestly, like I didn't have issues with it. I think too because I kind of missed a lot of the college scene doing like cosmetology school. Like a lot of my friends just finished college, like graduated college this May, which was after I'd already been in the program for a couple months. So I feel like I had my routine down. So I think once like seeing friends again, it was like okay, we can do some, coffee meetups, or hey, I'm gonna go to the gym this morning if you want to come with me and we can get smoothie bowls after, or, like things like that. Or hey, we can go on a walk. Like, I think I've just started implementing more of like those kind of things with my friends. Um, and then another thing that I think has been really beneficial too is just there's so many more options when you go out to eat now too. Like again, I feel like there's a lot of mocktail options now. There's, a lot of like protein options. I feel like there's a lot of great gluten-free options. So I think it's a little easier now to be able to go out and still see friends and still meet your goals. And also, I think I noticed like not everywhere, but I did notice like I feel like a lot of places did have like the list of how many calories were in things or had, again like some drink menus being like, "Hey, this is a like lower calorie margarita option." You know what I mean? Like I think things like that are really helpful towards those too.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like
Yeah.
we're all kind of on the same page here of the culture is shifting. And so
Yeah.
everyone is kind of becoming a little bit more health conscious, at least in my little
Mhm.
bubble of what I'm seeing. but
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'd love to know your experience navigating being out with friends, navigating dining out, or when your parents cook food, you don't know what's in it. How do you stay on top of that?
I think just making sure that the meals that like I'm in charge of doing myself, like my meal prepping for work and my breakfast in the morning, like making sure that I do those like as clean and as like high protein as I can so that it kind of balances out. And yeah, just had like if I know I'm gonna go out to eat with friends during the week, like looking at that menu ahead of time and seeing kind of different options of food as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Do you
also knowing
feel
too that it's okay to get ice cream out, Just you don't need to be doing it every night, like that kind of thing. Yeah.
you took the words out of my mouth? Do you feel that kind of confidence and freedom that comes with I know how to navigate this? I'm not
Yeah,
stressed
and
about it.
it's
I'm not going to beat
like
myself up.
exactly. It's like you're not like on a diet. You're just being more self-conscious of like things that you know you should be feeling your body and things that you shouldn't be all the time, but you can still do those here and there. Like again, I'm a huge Dr. Pepper girly. I can still have a Dr. Pepper, but I should just also have had more protein or different things like that and not had just sugar that day. So, things like
Yes.
that.
I love that you phrased
Yeah.
it that way. It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle. It's a routine
Hmm.
shift. Do you feel that
Yeah.
it was easy or difficult to make those changes in order to get yourself in that consistent routine?
I think it was at first for a bit because again, I feel like when I would have breakfast, it was like cereal or a granola bar. So I think like now I feel like I'll randomly have a bowl of cereal, which is like kind of, well, not fun, but it's kind of like,
It's
okay,
fun.
like this is good, but it's not like something that's gonna like fuel you. So I think just even noticing the change of like, okay, well, I ate that like 30 minutes ago and I'm already hungry versus like a big yogurt bowl of stuff, you're not hungry for a while because it actually fuels you.
Oh yeah. Well, and I'm sure your shopping list looks a lot different now than it did prior to the
Hmm.
program. How
Yeah.
comfortable are you navigating the grocery store?
I think a lot more comfortable, like figuring out what places I like going to, and then also, just even knowing like we had discussed, like all of the like things that you actually like need are all gonna be like on the outside of the grocery store, and then more of like the candy and chips and soda, those are all in the middle. So like focusing on like the outer edge of the store first.
Oh yeah, that's a huge takeaway too. I'm so
Mhm.
glad that it seems like it's kind of streamlined your process. It makes it so much easier to zero in and focus in on what you need versus
Yeah.
getting distracted, especially in the chip aisle. I don't know about you. That's where I'm like,
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. Um, yeah. So if somebody was on the fence about receiving coaching, what would you say to them?
I would say definitely do it. I mean, again, I did this program for 6 months and I feel like it went by so fast and it really just changes like everything in a good way, if that makes sense. Like, it's like you can still do a lot of the like things that like that you've been doing. It's not like you have a whole reset, but like if you want to have a whole reset, you can. You know what I mean? And it just is
Mm-hmm.
like different tweaks to your routine that just make you feel better and like boost your confidence. And so I think it helped a lot.
Good.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes. I'm very glad
Yeah.
to hear that. Yeah, I think was there anything inside the program too, and I want you to be very honest, was there
Mhm.
anything you experienced that you think could be improved inside of the program?
Um, I would say maybe like the Zoom meetings, like I think maybe having more like options of times for group meetings maybe that would probably make this numbers smaller in them. But I think like some days having like the noon meetings or things, like I wasn't able to make it to those, but I think if there was like a later option, some days I might have been able to. But I think there was like still a really good community on the group me to where or not group me, but on the fitness app where you could ask people things at any time. You could share photos of random things or different. Yeah, like I think I had shared about this like smoothie bowl place that opened near me, being like, "Hey, this place is really good. If anyone has one near them," you know what I mean? Like I think it was really easy to talk to anyone in the group. Yeah,
That's good to know. Yeah, and
yeah.
that's something I've been playing with too. Time wise, do you think more like 6, 7, 8 p.m., like after work
I
type
think
vibe?
so. Yeah, because I think like there's some days that I would work 9 to 5, some days I was 12 to 8. So I think it was just like my afternoons were always just kind of like busy. So I think, yeah, maybe having some more like after work options could work for some people, but it also, yeah, just kind of depends on like what time people go to the gym because everyone's schedules are different. So,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah.
Which is fun, but
Yes, but
challenging.
hard. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, what do you think? You mentioned the app too. I'd love to hear your perspective on the fluidity of it. Do you think it's advantageous to have an app or
Mhm.
what was your experience with it?
I think it was really easy to navigate for anyone. Like all the options on it were really easy. I think it was really easy to track your food and I thought it was cool that it had like a little scanner thing for barcodes. So you didn't even need to like type things in all the time. You could just scan the bag of whatever you have and log it. And then if it was something that wasn't in the system, it was really easy to add it yourself into there. So I feel like everything was really easy to navigate. I also, this sounds silly, but I think I really didn't know anything about fitness apps. So I was like, okay, is this something I'm going to have to purchase? Like, is this, you know what I mean? Like, I really wasn't sure what was going to go on with it. But like, I mean, again, it was like a free, easy thing to do, really easy to log all your stuff on it.
Mm-hmm. Good. I'm really glad that it was a good user friendly experience. And yeah, the fact
Mm-hmm.
that it's free, which is nice because I know my Fitness Pal sometimes upcharges for certain features, but it's so nice to just have
Yeah.
everything in one spot.
Yeah.
But dang it, I had a question and it left my head. But if it comes back, it comes back.
Okay.
Um, okay, so 10 seconds or less.
Mm-hmm.
Describe what was the biggest win from being inside this program.
Um, oh my gosh, I would just say definitely a huge confidence boost, routine reset, um, feeling more accomplished each day, better meals, better mood. Yeah,
Everything.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
so good to hear. Yeah,
yeah.
is there one thing in particular you feel like this is like my biggest win of all time?
I think being able to go to the gym by myself and feel like I know what I'm doing.
I
Yeah.
love that for you. I'm so
Yeah.
glad. And you get in there now, you're moving weight and
Mm-hmm.
especially
More weight than
knowing,
I thought I would be doing too, which is great. Yeah.
yeah, and even just knowing that you can move that weight is a
Yes.
huge confidence boost. And I am curious, has that translated to any other portion of your life of, oh, well, like I'm in the gym kicking my butt. I know I can do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And I think too, like with my job, like holding blow dryers and things all day too, like my arms don't hurt as much either, which sounds silly. But yeah, so I think that's been super nice too, not being as sore like from work.
Yeah. Do you feel like you have better energy or at least better stamina?
Yeah, definitely. Which is great too, because again, like getting busier and about to be in like the crazy busy time of the year too, where you don't have as many breaks. I feel like feeling like, you got enough sleep, you're hydrated, you aren't hungry because the meals that you had actually are keeping you energized. Like things like that, I think are going to make a huge difference for me from like this busy holiday season compared to the last one too.
Mm, yeah, the holidays are coming up. And
Hmm.
you said it. You feel confident navigating that. You don't have really any anxiety of maintaining what
Right.
we've built.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah, and I mean, I want to touch on this because this for me was a huge win for you was
Mhm.
finally posting that bikini picture on Instagram and
Yes.
feeling confident. I want to
Yeah.
know what was that like for you as an experience?
I think it felt great because again, like gone on plenty of beach vacations, but yeah, never felt confident to post something. And I think like everyone always posts bikini pictures or things on vacation. And again, I don't think people care. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not like anytime someone posts a picture from a family trip or like on a vacation that everyone's like totally looking at everything or like thinking anything really of it. And so I was like, I never think anything when I see someone post a picture of them at the beach. You know what I mean? Why would I not post something? So I think it felt yeah, very just freeing, I guess.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you didn't have too much anxiety as far as just putting on a bikini in the first place, but like taking the photo, feeling good about it, posting
Yeah,
it.
posting it. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I mean like I'm just so excited for you about that. And I know like in the
Hmm.
grand scheme of the world, like posting a photo on Instagram, like
Right.
it doesn't
But
sound like as
it's
big a deal of it is.
yeah.
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 So congratulations on that. I'm
Thank
really
you.
excited for you. Good.
Yes, me too.
Is there anything else that you would like to share?
Um, I think that there just is like any time is a great time to start something like this. It doesn't have to be like the beginning of the year or right before like a specific holiday or after the holidays. Like I think like any month is a great time to like start your like fitness journey.
100%. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you said that too. I think like a lot of people will do the New Year's resolution or before their wedding and that
Hmm.
sort of thing. And you started like before
March.
summertime. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
But not like right at January. And
Right.
we mentioned like we just kind of fell into each other's laps at that point. But
Hmm.
I mean, had you had those thoughts of okay, New Year's resolution, let me get my ish together, or were you just kind of the type of constantly and consistently trying to essentially chase the hamster wheel?
Right. I think just like constantly trying, but I think I also this year was just kind of like setting up appointments and things for other like health issues, just like trying to get things straightened out. And so I was like, I'm already doing all this stuff this year. I might as well just start this too and just have this be a health year of figuring my stuff out. Yeah.
Yes, I'm so glad. And it seems like everything kind of came together in the
Hmm.
right space and time.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, girl.
Yeah.
Well, Molly, I'm really grateful for you jumping on here and chatting with
Yeah.
me. I'm so proud of you. And we've lost body fat, we've built confidence, you're in the
Hmm.
gym, you're not
Yeah.
afraid.
Yeah. Posting
Shoot,
on
girl.
Instagram.
Posting on IG like it's nobody's business.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, I'm really proud of you. Thank you so much for joining this program.
Hmm.
And I can't thank you enough. I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Okay, I'm going to stop
Yes.
recording and then we'll chit chat.
Okay.